From the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, it's the 7th annual Firecracker 400. It'll be 160 laps, 400 miles, and the pace car driven by Bill France, the president of the International Speedway, is out on the track right now, so let's take a check on these cars as they line up. Marvin Panch on the pole in 21. Next to him is Earl Balmer in a 64 Mercury. Panch is in a 65 Ford. Cale Yarborough in row 2 on the pole in a 65 Ford, and Sam McQuagg next to him in 24. Ned Jarrett in 11. Next to him is Dick Hutcherson in 29. Then Freddie Lorenzen and Junior Johnson side by side. That should be a pretty good duel in itself, 28 and 26. Darrell Derringer, 16, and Nelson Stacy, 14. A.J. Foyt in car number 41. And next to him is Buddy Baker in car number 86, 65 Plymouth. The pace car is pulling off now, and the green flag is out. This race will be underway. Edging ahead is Marvin Panch on the pole. Right behind him is Earl Balmer, and the race is officially on. Marvin Panch going out in front. Earl Balmer right behind him at the start, and now Balmer has moved to the lead. Panch has dropped back to second as they go into that number 1 turn. Balmer in first place, Panch in second, and there's trouble back here. A car in a long spin. 0-0, Tom Pistone of Chicago. The traffic weaves around him, and he is hit. Broadsided by car number 97, driven by Henley Gray. Both those cars will be out. 0-0. Is sitting there, and the driver's okay. Tom Pistone waving his hands. Gray is all right, and I think there was another car. 02, Doug Cooper's car is also down on the inside. So the flag is out, the yellow caution lights are blinking, and here we haven't even gotten through the first lap of this 160-lap race, and we've already had a yellow flag. The safety car has moved off now, and the green flag is out, and the cars are officially racing once again. Of course, they couldn't improve their position under that yellow caution flag, which was needed after the accident involving 3 cars. So it means that Earl Balmer is still in the lead. Cale Yarborough is in second place. Marvin Panch in third. Sam McQuagg in fourth. And Freddie Lorenzen is in 5th place right now. 3 cars officially listed out of the race. Tom Pistone spun. He was hit by Henley Gray, car number 97. And then Doug Cooper apparently caught some part of a car because he is out. And there goes Marvin Panch and Cale Yarborough by Earl Balmer, and Sam McQuagg sneaks through on the inside to grab 3rd place. There's Cale Yarborough moving out. Freddie Lorenzen and Junior Johnson has moved up into 3rd place. We're keeping our eye on A.J. Foyt, too, at the time. A.J. started back in the pack and has moved up now to 6th place in the standing. We might get a word in the pit area from Chris Economaki. Chris, I don't know whether you had your eyes on that accident or not. You probably couldn't see it too well. Any report?
Well, we didn't see it, Bill, but we know that the drivers are okay. Ken White, 65 old, is out now with a clutch torn out of it.
Okay, any other word you get, Chris, let us know. And there goes Freddie Lorenzen past Cale Yarborough, and Junior Johnson moved right up there in the draft of Lorenzen. It pulled him, as you can see, right along. That's a peculiarity of this track here at Daytona. And there's Yarborough going right back out in front. So Yarborough in the new 65 Ford ahead of Lorenzen and Johnson, though 3 Fords running 1, 2, and 3 right now. There goes Lorenzen back ahead of Yarborough. Boy, this promises to be some great dueling here today. Although we got off to a slow start with a caution flag on the very first lap, it has been a blistering pace ever since that time. A.J. Foyt now has moved up into 5th or 6th place in the standings, and he has come all the way back from 9th just a few moments ago. So car number 41, A.J. Foyt, keep your eye on him. But right now, it's all those cars moving as a group: Yarborough, Johnson, and Lorenzen. A little bit earlier, Chris Economaki talked to Junior Johnson, and here's what Junior had to say.
What makes the engines fail, Junior?
Well, here you run them flat out and don't breathe them, and it takes a real good engine to stand it very long. And the first engine we blew was down here running the tar test, and it had quite a few miles on it. It was time for it to let go. Where you don't breathe the engine, it just keeps pounding until it pounds itself to death.
Junior, we hear the expression blow an engine all the time, but nobody ever tells us what breaks in the engine. What breaks first, usually?
Well, most of the time it's a rod or a rod bolt or a rod cap.
Cuts up the inside.
That's right. About 9 times out of 10, that's what happened.
The colorful chicken farmer from Ronda, North Carolina, Junior Johnson, he's hanging right on the tail of Cal Yarborough and getting a pretty good draft. That's a peculiarity of the Daytona track. You can get behind, run at less RPMs, and have that lead car pull you right along. We've used that expression many times. Many drivers call it slipstreaming or drafting, but it's a great technique and used to its fullest advantage right now. Junior Johnson has passed Cal Yarborough, and Lorenzen pulls right up on the tail of Yarborough. They're bunched very close together, as you can see. 3 Fords right in there, in the running. And there goes A.J. Foyt. He's on the low inside. He's the white car. He's now in 4th place. So we've got Fords in the first 4 positions right now. And Yarborough is trying to get by Junior Johnson. What a duel we've got going here. Lorenzen hanging in there in 3rd. Chris, do you have a comment from down in the pits? Chris?
Oh, Bill?
Yeah, go ahead.
It looks like the pre-race predictions of a close race are being borne out in these early stages. The man that led the first lap is now running 10th. And that's remarkable to see that many changes of position this early in the race. That's it.
Okay, right you are, Chris. And we saw Earl Balmer get sandwiched and drop back to 4th in less than 3 seconds. So you get an idea of what the pace is like. Yarborough has regained the lead. Johnson is 2nd. Lorenzen is 3rd. And look at A.J. Foyt right on the tail of Freddie Lorenzen. We'll be back with more from the Firecracker 400 in just a moment. Junior Johnson chasing Cal Yarborough now. We've got a lap timing here on the lead cars, and there goes Johnson, and A.J. Foyt is right behind Junior Johnson. Tried to slip by, backed off a little bit, couldn't get by Yarborough. We notice Freddie Lorenzen has slowed way down. He's way back in the pack. He may be coming in. Keep in mind now that around 52 or 53 seconds will put him between 165 and 172 miles an hour. Junior Johnson ahead of Yarborough. And A.J. Foyt coming right behind, and there's the 52.5. That figures out to be 171.428 miles per hour for the lead car. So these guys are really moving here, and it should take its toll pretty soon. A.J. Foyt has moved up into 3rd place in car number 41, following Johnson and Cal Yarborough. Yarborough trying to regain the lead on Johnson in the backstretch. He's close. Going by slower cars now. Up on the turn, and he may get him. He's got him. Yarborough back into the lead again, and they've been doing this ever since the start of this race. First one and then the other, and there's A.J. Foyt down low. But they closed the gate on him, and now 3 cars bunched right close together as they come by. Here's A.J. Foyt going by Junior Johnson, and A.J. is in 2nd place, and there is Freddie Lorenzen. He is in the pit area. Lorenzen slowing down into the pits, and he's going wide. He's not going in. Chris, are you down there? Chris?
Yes, Bill. I can't tell you what's wrong yet, but he's got to be out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put it behind the wall.
Okay, we'll see if you can find out what's going on down there, and we'll stay with you, because we're reaching a critical point here in the early going in this race. The first pit stops are due very soon here. Right now, the duel is going to be between these 3 cars, Yarborough, A.J. Foyt, and Junior Johnson.
Problem, we've been having a little connecting rod problem because our main factory went on strike, and we've just been having a little problem with the connecting rods. I think I broke a rod.
When it let go, did you have any trouble on the track?
Well, Junior taught me a new trick. When it blows, instead of backing off, you hold your foot on the throttle, just keep it floored, and instead of the oil dumping on the track, it sucks it up on the engine and spits it out the exhaust in the air. So I had no trouble. I got her right off the track to keep the oil off. Pulled her down the apron.
Sort of thinking of your fellow man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, better luck next time. Freddie Lorenzen out of the race before 100 miles. There seems to be confusion in the pits. Johnson earlier overshot his pit because of Buck Baker's car. Now he's blocked in the pits here by the Dick Hutchison Ford, and he can't get out. And there's all kinds kinds of confusion going on here. Dick Hutcherson, Junior Johnson, and A.J. Foyt all in the pits at the same time. What was the reason for the two pit stops?
Baker wouldn't let him in, and he just slid over through his pits, and Gazaway just sent him on around.
You think that'll cost you the race?
Very possible.
Tough break for Herb Knapp, Junior Johnson's chief mechanic, in a bitter mood.
Okay, Chris, things sound pretty frantic down there, and it promises to get busier as the afternoon wears on. Cale Yarborough had a great pit stop, and he is now in first place despite that stop, simply because the other cars had to pull in. Foyt, Johnson, and Hutcherson, of course, was also in, and it means that Darrell Derringer has moved into second place. We've got an interval timing now between the first and the second car. Darrell Derringer, the 64 Mercury, is now just coming into view. Here he is. 13 seconds separates the first and second car. Yarborough in the lead, and Darrell Derringer is now in second place. We'll be back very shortly with more from the Firecracker 400. Right now, let's go to Jim McKay at Southport, England, for the British Open Golf Championship. Cale Yarborough setting a blistering pace in car number 27 in first place, and Darrell Derringer is 23 seconds back in second place. Marvin Panch is 42 seconds back of the lead. So we'll get a timing now on Cale Yarborough as he goes around this 2.5-mile circuit. While we're getting the timing on just how fast he's running, might get a comment from Chris Economaki in the pits. I think things have calmed down there a little bit, haven't they, Chris?
That's right, Bill, they have, but 5 of the 6 1965 Chevrolets in the race are out. They were supposed to give the Ford some competition. 4 are out with mechanical trouble and 1 in a wreck. And this boy Yarborough, that's been dominating the race since the outset, has been on the Grand National Circuit since 1957 and only won his first race just 1 week ago, which resulted in him getting this factory-backed ride, and he's certainly making the most of it today.
Okay, Chris, and be standing by there, won't you? Because we're going to be coming up to the 80-lap mark, which means that the cars will be pitting for their second time. Here's the time on him, 53.9, converted into miles per hour, 166.925 miles an hour for Cale Yarborough. Yarborough in first place, Derringer in second, and Panch in third. Junior Johnson is out of the race, gave up because of handling problems with his car. That was indicated a little bit earlier when he lost so much time on that second go-around of the pits. So many of the favorites perhaps dropping by the wayside. Earlier you saw Freddie Lorenzen go out. So Yarborough is eliminating a lot of them. Look at this. Yarborough in a long slide. And there's a car right behind him. He just barely misses him. Down on the inside of the track, he still keeps going. Cale Yarborough apparently lost up there high. I can't see exactly. Oh, it's a tire, right rear tire. In fact, it is practically shredded as we put the glasses on him. He's coming into the pits. It was a fortunate place on the track. And look at the rubber drop off that tire. He was very close to the entryway to the pits, and this may not hurt him too much if he didn't do any damage there. His crew is standing by. They saw it happen too. They've got another tire ready to go. So Derringer has taken over the lead. And here is Yarborough. Let's watch how fast they can get another tire on there. Chris, I know you're not close to that area, but we saw the tire go, and you might make a comment on these new tires.
Bill, it's a lifeguard inner tire they're using on these cars, and this one certainly proved its worth and enabled them to get to the pits to change.
Okay, and there is the smoking ruins of what used to be about a $50 or $60 tire, and it's blistering hot as they put it over the pit wall. Yarborough's ready to go. And he's off. Fine job in the pits. And a miraculous job of driving by Cale Yarborough. Here comes Derringer into the pits. Derringer seizing an opportunity to pit. The caution flag was on there for just a few seconds, and Derringer coming in now to get fuel and tires. That means that Marvin Panch has moved into the lead in car number 21. And Dick Hutcherson is in second place. A.J. Foyt we have as the third place car right now. And here is Marvin Panch into the pits. Marvin Panch has pitted. And here's the famous Glenwood pit crew that did so well at Indianapolis in the winning car this year. Chris, go ahead.
Get in that side. They're going to have to exchange drivers through the right-hand window. This is a crucial pit stop for Marvin Panch, car 21, pulling prey to the heat here on this very hot July 4th at Daytona Beach, Florida. Lorenzen buckles his shoulder harnesses, safety belt, takes off, and a rather big rush. So here's Marvin. The heat get you, Marvin?
Well, I feel okay, but Freddie was nice and fresh, so I thought I'd let him go.
How's the track? How's the track? Any oil, anything on the track?
It's a little slippery out there, yes.
Fine. Well, you think you'll go back in at the next stop?
I probably will.
There you have it, Marvin Panch.
Here's a car in trouble. Car number 6, Bub Strickler, is spinning out on the turn between the 1 and 2 turns. And he's okay, he's down on the infield. But apparently tires are starting to wear a bit here. The caution flag is out, and the leaders will have to hold their position. Now, to show you what a miraculous job Yarborough did, he is officially listed back in first place. Derringer in second, and A.J. Foyt is in third place. We'll be back with more from the Firecracker 400 in just a moment. Here is Yarborough regaining the lead now from Darrell Derringer. A little bit farther back, we've got Buddy Baker moving up. He's in 7th place right now in car number 86 in a Hemi Head Plymouth. That's the recent rule change of NASCAR, enabled the Hemi Head engine to be entered in this race. It's the first time we've seen it this year. G.C. Spencer, car number 49, is now currently in 8th place in the standings. So they're getting bunched up there kind of close as we move into the 100th lap. Cale Yarborough regaining the lead. Darrell Derringer in 2nd place. Freddie Lorenzen in car number 21 in 3rd. Earlier, Chris Economaki talked to Cale Yarborough. Let's listen.
What about the new rules affecting the racing, Cale? You think they're better for the sport?
Oh, definitely. More competition than anything you go at is always better.
Would you rather have a hot competition, or would you rather have it sort of easy out there?
Well, you like it easy, but if the sport's going to survive, you're going to need more competition.
Cale, do you find any tough spots here at Daytona on the track?
Well, we got one bad hump coming off of number 4 that gives you a little trouble when you're drafting real close, but other than that, the racetrack is mighty nice.
Do you draft at 170 as you used to at 160?
Oh, yeah, you draft real close all the time.
It doesn't bother you?
No, well, it bothers you a lot, but you get used to it.
Who do you think the big competition is going to come from in the 400?
I think Marvin Panch is really going to be the man to beat.
Cale Yarborough in the lead, 26-year-old tobacco farmer from Timmonsville, South Carolina. Darrell Derringer in 2nd place. Incidentally, Yarborough's first race was the age of 10 when he won a soapbox derby race in his hometown. He's a former All-State fullback at Timmonsville, South Carolina, and he's really built like one, isn't he? Yarborough in the lead, Derringer, then Panch's car, and there is A.J. Foyt trying to unlap himself. But quite a race in there with everybody bunched up in close. Yarborough, A.J. Foyt, and Darrell Derringer, but remember, Foyt in car number 41 is 1 lap behind Cale Yarborough. These cars will be pitting about the 120th, 125th lap, perhaps. Most of them went in at around 80, but we have noticed quite a bit of tire wear, and we could have action before that time. A.J. Foyt trying to unlap himself. Once he gets by that car number 27, he will be on the same lap. Here he goes. And we'll try for a lap timing now on the lead car. A.J. just does get around. Uh-oh, the car blows. That's Yarborough's car. And the cars behind are in trouble. Yarborough is sliding, and there goes Derringer's car, there goes Jarrett's car, Hutcherson's car. All the leaders are spinning and swirling around the track. Yarborough gets the car down near the infield, but it literally wiped out the leaders. I don't know what happened down there, and I don't think anybody does, but of course the caution flag came out immediately. The blinker lights are on, but it looked like Yarborough's car blew, and the cars behind him started slipping and sliding. Derringer hit somebody, Hutcherson hit, and here is Jarrett coming into the pit. Look at the right front end of that car. Ned Jarrett, involved in that, was running in 6th place at the time, and he's barely going to make it in here. Chris Economaki is standing by, and Chris, you're going to be a mighty busy man down there in just a few minutes, because I think all these cars are going to try to limp on in. Whether they can finish it, of course, is another question. But you better get the big bars out and a few welding torches, because they're going to need it. Here's Jarrett's car. Look at that. Chris?
Open me up.
You got it. Go ahead.
We're standing here by Ned Jarrett's car. The engine is smoking, and he's getting a drink. Ned, what happened up there?
Someone blew an engine in front of me, Chris, and all of us were right there in a line, and we just went into the wall.
Was it oil?
Yes, that's correct.
You think you get back in?
Well, I'm certainly hoping so, but I don't have that to damage my right front.
Well, there's Ned Jarrett involved in that accident.
Okay, the yellow caution flag is out. Only 15 cars are running on the track right now. Freddie Lorenzen in the lead in Marvin Panch's car. We'll be back with more from the Firecracker 400 in just a moment. Dick Hutcherson's crew working frantically to get car number 29 back in this race, and even Dick himself is pitching in to try to get it back. He was involved in that accident with Yarborough and Jarrett and Derringer, and we'll see if Chris Economaki can get a word with this national point leader. Chris?
Dick? Dick, you think you'll get back in the race?
We're going to do our best.
What does the car need?
We've got to put a radiator on it. We ain't going to take time to put a fan on it. We're going to try to run it without one the rest of the race.
What happened up there?
Cale Yarborough blew an engine. Darrell Derringer hit his oil and got sideways, and I hit Darrell.
I see you torqued the left side of your car. Can you run with it like that? Is there suspension damage?
No, the suspension's all right if we can just get a radiator on it.
Well, let's hope you do. Dick Hutcherson, back to you, Bill.
Well, actually, 4 cars were involved in that mishap, with Yarborough, Derringer, Jarrett, and Hutcherson all involved and all having some damage. Right now, the leader is Freddie Lorenzen in Marvin Panch's car, and A.J. Foyt is in 2nd place, and there is Lorenzen going by Foyt, so Foyt is 1 full lap behind. We'll be coming back with the dramatic wind-up of the Firecracker 400 very shortly. Right now, let's check in with Jim McKay at the British Open Golf Championship at Southport, England. Buddy Baker is now in 3rd place, and G.C. Spencer is 4th, and here is Lorenzen coming into the pit apron. So if Foyt can get around here before Lorenzen gets out, he will have the lead. So down to Chris Economaki now to see if we can get the story on Lorenzen's car. Chris?
And here's that crucial pit stop as the hood comes up, and Fled Lorenzen is talking with Marvin Panch. We don't know whether the change will be made or not. Yes, Lorenzen is going to get out. And they're gambling here with precious seconds. This driver change could cost them the race. Water goes into the radiator. Lorenzen gets out. Panch gets in to finish this race. A.J. Foyt, who's now leading, will be in shortly. And it is a battle of the pits. And this, for the Glenwood pit crew, is a rather long stop. Ready? They still have not latched the hood on the car. They're apparently in trouble. There's actually an attitude of calmness here. We don't know what the... And they're backing up the car. Freddie, what's the trouble?
Oh, blew a head gasket.
You can't continue? You didn't get a position?
No, we're done.
Well, that's too bad. You were putting on a great race there with Foyt. And Marvin Panch parks the car out of the race, and it looks as though, with no more incidents, it should be an inherited victory for A.J. Foyt. That's it from the pits, Bill.
Okay, Chris, but AJ is now coming into the pits. So stay right there on this stop. This could be a critical one for Foyt.
Open me up. AJ Foyt is in the pits now. AJ, how's the heat?
Oh, everything's beautiful, Chris.
How about the track?
It's beautiful. Everything's performing real well.
There's AJ Foyt looking cool, confident, calm in his final pit stop of this Firecracker 400. Flashing a smile, ready to go. That's it.
Okay, Chris, and I guess he has reason to smile right now with only 15 laps to go. AJ Foyt in the lead. Buddy Baker in car number 86, a 65 Plymouth, is in second place. Car number 49 is in third place. That's G.C. Spencer, and that's a 64 Ford. And then car number 19, J.T. Putney, in a 65 Chevy, is now in fourth place. And here is a car that's stalled. The caution flag has gone out. He stalled down on the apron. This should not be a long caution flag. Of course, AJ doesn't care. He could ride the rest of the way in behind the safety car right now. But the stalled car did cause the caution flag to go out. So Foyt, all he has to do is keep this car number 41, the Holman & Moody Ford, running, and he will be in for his second straight Firecracker 400 victory. And here comes AJ into the pit area. Foyt is coming back. Everything looked so calm, cool, and collected, but apparently he had some trouble. If he stays in there, it's going to mean that Buddy Baker's going to take the lead. Chris, are you down there?
Bill, you won't believe this. Foyt came in, flashed a big smile to his pit chief, Paul Nars, and said, "How am I doing?" And Paul said, "Get going." I guess he feels as though he's got it won.
Well, I've heard of confidence before, Chris, but I've never heard a story like that. He's back out there again with apparently no trouble at all. So we'll be back with more from the Firecracker 400 in just a moment from the Daytona International Speedway. The green flag is out now. The stall of the car is off the track, and they're back racing once again. So the question seems to be right now, can A.J. Foyt keep that car running? And if he doesn't, there are going to be a couple of guys right behind him who will be very anxious and eager to take over the lead. Buddy Baker in car number 86, G.C. Spencer in car number 49, and J.T. Putney in car number 19. But A.J. doesn't seem to be slackening off the pace at all. Going ahead of car number 86, he's got 1 lap on him, and he has 2 laps on G.C. Spencer. Might say a word about Spencer. G.C. stands for Grover Clinton Spencer from Inman, South Carolina, and he owns and drives his own car. One of the few fellows to do that. Might say a word about him, Chris, if you're standing by listening to the headset. I don't know how a fellow maintains his own car and does all the pit work. Must take some organization. Okay, well, Buddy Baker following right on the heels of A.J. Foyt, just hoping that something will bust loose up there and put him into the lead. It's happened many times today where leaders have gone into the lead by virtue of default. Certainly was a great example of it earlier when Yarborough's engine blew, and then started that chain reaction with Derringer, Hutcherson, and Jarrett going out. Here's Buddy Baker trying to unlap himself with A.J. Foyt, and he does get by him. So maybe A.J. is slowing up a little bit, realizing that a little earlier he caused Freddie Lorenzen to overheat and doesn't want to do the same thing to himself. Before this race got underway today, Chris had a chance to talk to G.C. Spencer, and here's what G.C. had to say about this race.
G.C., what are the problems that face an independent man on this circuit?
Well, the main thing is trying to run with the factory cars. They have all the money and a little better equipment, and it makes it a little hard on all of us independent guys.
We heard that the factory spend up to $7,000 getting a car ready for one race. What does it cost you?
Well, some of the races maybe will cost me $1,000, $1,500. Maybe the next one will cost me $5,000. It depends what I have left over from the race before.
Do you think you'll end the season up with a profit?
I hope so. Right at the present, I'm in the red.
What about the ability of a year-old car to compete with the newer models?
They won't run with new cars on these large raceways, but on the shorter tracks, why, we're about on even terms with them.
Well, then, if they won't run with them on the big tracks, GC, why are you here?
Well, I'm 5th in the national point standing. I'd like to stay up there, and that pays a little money at the end of the year, and I'd like to grab that.
Okay, well, now let me remind you that on Friday night, on August the 6th, the greatest of last year's college football players assemble to meet the world champion Cleveland Browns. You'll see John Heward, Jack Snow, Dick Butkus, Fred Biletnikoff, Bob Hayes, and Gale Sayers as the college all-stars take on Jimmy Brown and company of the Cleveland Browns, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock Central Time, August the 6th, over most of these ABC stations. And we'll be back with the conclusion of this Firecracker 400 in just a moment. Here comes A.J. Foyt around now, and the white flag will be out for him. As soon as he comes around this lap, he will have one more lap to go. A.J. Foyt in car number 41, driving a spectacular race here today. There's the white flag for him, and Buddy Baker still right in there dicing with him. Incidentally, A.J. has not slowed down at all. We clocked him 2 laps back in 54.2, which converts into 166 miles an hour. So he hasn't come off that gas pedal at all in the closing stages of this race. And that is typical of A.J. Foyt. If he's going to win it, he wants to win it big and going as fast as he possibly can. Look at him pick up ground on Buddy Baker. Baker passed him earlier, and it was almost as if the crowd thought, well, it doesn't make much difference. He's 1 lap back, but A.J. sees it a little bit differently. In 3rd place is G.C. Spencer, and in 4th place, car number 19, is J.T. Putney. So here they come around for the final turn, and Foyt's going to try to pass Baker. The checkered flag is out for A.J. Foyt, and here they come to the finish line. And I think he nipped him. The checkered flag for A.J. Foyt. Baker is still 1 full lap behind, but I think A.J. just got his nose ahead of Buddy Baker at the finish line. It's almost like A.J. said, I just have to pass one more car before I'm going to call it an afternoon. So there it is, A.J. Foyt in 41, Buddy Baker in 86, G.C. Spencer in 49, and J.T. Putney. And now let's go down to Chris Economaki in Victory Lane to talk with A.J. Foyt.
Congratulations, A.J., and welcome back to Victory Lane. The first time in the year. You must feel great.
I do, Chris. It's been almost a year since I've finished the race.
If you're as hot as I am, you're a hot fella.
Well, it's pretty warm inside there.
How about it? Did you think you may have to call for relief?
Well, I did maybe when the race started, because this is the first real big race that I've ran in the sedan since it happened, and my accident, and I just really didn't know.
How do you feel now physically?
Real good. I'm a bit hot and a little tired, but other than that, I feel real good.
No aches or pains?
No aches or pains.
Did you get involved in any of those incidents that we saw on the track?
No, I really didn't. I was running real hard at first, you probably recall, and then the track seemed to get a little oil on it, and I didn't have enough weight in my chassis, and I gave my crew a signal. When I came in, they changed the chassis around, and then after that, it performed beautiful.
A.J., you hooked up with Freddie Lorenzen in a tremendous duel there about 3/4 of the way through. If his car had stayed in it, do you think you could have taken him?
Well, I really don't know. I run over something and blew a tire out, and I lost a lap there underneath the green, and I was just trying to make up time because the race was half over. I knew if I was going to have any chance of winning, I better do it then.
Well, you're the first man to score back-to-back wins in the Firecracker, and A.J.'s first victory of the 1965 season. Continued good luck to you, A.J.
Thank you, Chris.
Back to you, Bill Fleming.
Thank you, Chris. And I imagine that A.J. felt just a little bit more comfortable in winning today compared with a year ago. At that time, he won by inches, and today he had the luxury of nearly a full lap over the second-place car, Buddy Baker. So it was A.J. Foyt in a 65 Ford first, Buddy Baker in a 65 Plymouth was second, G.C. Spencer in a 64 Ford was third, and J.T. Putney in a 65 Chevy was fourth. The overall speed was 150.046 miles per hour, not a new record. A.J. finished almost a mile an hour faster than that a year ago. All in all, an exciting race. 7 drivers led at one time or another. The lead changed 18 times, and it was quite a Firecracker 400. Executive producer of ABC's Wide World of Sports is Rune Arledge. Daytona 400 produced by Dick Kirchner. Directed by Marvin Schlenker. Associate Director Doug Wilson. Technical Director Walt Kubelis. British Open coverage produced by Jim Culligan. Technical pickups provided by the British Broadcasting Company and WFTV Orlando, Florida. Remember, next week, Wide World of Sports goes to Langhorne, Pennsylvania for the Langhorne 100 and to Lakewood, Ohio for the National AAU Gymnastics Championships. Today's show was videotaped in Southport, England and Daytona, Florida. This is Bill Fleming speaking for Chris Economaki. Nationwide and worldwide travel arrangements for Wide World of Sports made through and promotional consideration furnished by TWA, Trans World Airlines.